So the shir is about what time are you supposed to light the Hanukkah, Menorah on Hanukkah, and what happens if it's late, and how long do the candles need to burn for? Those are the shilas. So how long does so when do you need to light the Menorah? So it's the Gemara, the whole sugi of Hanukkah comes up in the middle of Hilchos Shabbos. In the middle of Hadlakas Neiros, it switches to Hadlakas Neiros Hanukkah. So the Gemara discussing up there if the Hanukkah Menorah after you lit it gets put out, it extinguishes. Do you have to light it up again, or could you just leave it the way it is? Do you say you already did the mitzvah and it's done, or do you have to fix it? So the Gemara comes to Maskana. It says Kavsa in Zakukla. If it goes out, you don't need to fix it. The Gemara challenges this. Like in the first Mara Makim.
That has to do with that Lokos mitzvah, not Chois mitzvah, the same
Lachira. It doesn't. The Gemara doesn't sound like it, but Lachira, smash. In Svar, it sounds like the same word. It says V'kavsa in zakuklo. You don't need to relight it again, or minhu, but we have a shaila. Compare this to another din we have. We have a din that mitzvah. So mishatishka achama ache tichla regel min hashuk. When is the mitzvah of lighting Hanukkah candles? When the sun sets until people are gone from the marketplace. Until there's no one else in the street. That's when the mitzvah is to light Menorah. And where it says my lav the so what's the nafkamina? My lav the kavsa hadar madikla is not trying to tell you that if it extinguishes within this certain amount of time, this half an hour, you have to relight it. The Gemara says what they're trying to say is the ilay adig madlik, saying that no, if you still didn't light, then you should light. The inami, or a second answer, the shiura, it's giving you an amount of time. How long does it need to burn for?
How long do I have to set it that it should burn? If it doesn't burn, it's not my problem.
But if it went out, maybe you do need to light it.
Or maybe you don't.
I did it without time to burn, and something else happened. I did mine.
We tried proving from here that you have to relight it. We said no. Either it's just talking about that you could still light within this time, or it's talking about you have to give this amount of oil, this amount of wax. But it's not a raya that you have to relight it. It's not a raya that you have to relight it.
No, we're not saying the Allah about
So,
it. We're just saying from here, no proof.
Yeah. The Gemara earlier, it was already a machlekes between different Amoraim, and they came to and two of them came to the Maskana that the din is you don't need to relight it. And so the shaila. So what happens if you're past this time? According to the first answer, the ilay adlik madlik. What does that mean? So let's say this half hour after shkiyah, if it's a half hour after shkia, could I still light the menorah, or is it done? Is it over with? So the Rashba writes that, like you said, it's a mitzvah min ha-muvchar. Mitzvah mishatishka chana. Mitzvah min ha-muvchar is to do with them, but you can still do it afterwards. Look in the Lashon in the second Mara Machim. The Rashba writes, "V'ha-nami diktani ashe tichla regel min hashuk." This is how we learned that until people are out of the marketplace. To Parishna, we explained the ilay adli, and the Gemara explains the ilay adlik madlik, that if you didn't light, you could still light. Avla meimna doesn't mean to say the ilay adlik v'seich shir zeh ini madlik, that it's too late, you can't light anymore. The Hatanan, we learned kosher mitzvasei b'layla, kosher kol alayla. So it's a Mishnah in Megillah that ksir sa'imir. It's all different mitzvahs. Mitzvahs which are during the day you can do all day. It says mitzvahs which are at nighttime you can do all night long. So over here you can do this all night long. Ella shaloi asa mitzvah kitikuna. Just elamai, you didn't do the mitzvah kitikuna. There's a better way. You could have done it better. So kitikuna the leika persumi nisa kulahai. There isn't so much pirsum hanes if when there aren't so many people in the shuk, and therefore kitikuna.
So in other words, it's like a little worse than not having done it. I mean, I'm just putting it out there.
Okay, so he says
Chanukah is not an inyan in Pesum because he's missing an inyan in Chanukah also, not just a regular mitzvah of Laila. Here you affect it's a little more too, like you're saying.
Because the whole Laila doesn't involve anybody else. But the Chanukah,
it's a little worse, like you're saying.
the word is Pesum Nisa.
The lack of Pesum is.
But if you don't do it with the mitzvah and a mufcha, so you're not doing it.
So ideally, so like that Rashba says, when we're saying mitzvah and a mufcha, the best way to do the mitzvah is a half hour after shkia, because that's when there's more pirsum in Nisa. But if you didn't, you're still the use of the mitzvah. So that's how the Rashba and a lot of Rishonim learn. However, Tosfos and the Rambam, they learn differently. They learn that no, it's liyikuva. If you don't light half hour after Shkia, again, you lost out. Look in the third Maramalkim, says the Ilay Adlik Madlik. The Gemara said if you didn't light, you could still light within this half hour. Aval Mikan ve'elech, but from here and onwards, Avar Azman, you missed out. And Emery, therefore, the Peter says, the Yesh Lizar Lahadik Belayla Miyad Shali Acha Yizmidai. Therefore, when you come home, you should light Menorah right away in order that you shouldn't lose out and miss out on the mitzvah. Oh, so we have to see how. According to Tosfos, maybe the Taka said that. So that's however Tosfos goes on. But the shaila is we had two answers in the Gemara. Right, the Gemara says the ilay adlik madlik. If you don't like, it's still light. But then the inami l'shira. Or we have two options how to teach the Gemara. So the is which one do you pass them like? Are they arguing with each other? Is it two different answers? So
what's the smart to say it doesn't work?
Because the whole mitzvah of lighting the menorah is to be mefarsim the nest. If there's no one in the street, who are you being mefarsim the nest to?
The whole mitzvah for me to remember the nest and also for people.
So maybe that's machlekes.
So let somebody else light for me.
So maybe that's. You can say haguf.
It's a chiyuv on you to mefarsim the nest.
You could say haguf is the machlekes.
No, but he's saying
good thing. Me to be mefarsim the nest. Why is it a chiyuv on me?
Why? He can't be made.
What if somebody else advertises it for me? What do I need to be?
Well, shliach he cannot do it.
You could say you could try to say that is the machlekes according to Tosfos. The whole mitzvah is persuminus. So if there's no one there, you're not doing anything. It's not just for yourself.
So why should I light? Maybe I should take an ad at the time.
Whereas according to the Rashba, you can say this also for yourself. And so the point. So, but look what Tosfos goes on. Even though Tosfos says if you miss the half hour, you can't like the menorah, he goes on. He says, "Mikol ma'im icher." What happens if you take it happen? You went past the half hour. He says, "Yadlik misafik." The hamishani shinu yachrina. The Gemara gave two different answers. Why do you have? This is Tosfos, yeah.
So what's the lashon? So does it? And then he says the mikol makim.
Mikol makim. If the time did pass,
I believe I see three things. First of all, the ilo adlik madlik hamakam elochover azman. That's one part of Tosfos that you lost.
Mikaradin, pshat in the Gemara. Tosfos says what's pshat in the Gemara, and the Gemara says ilay madlik madlik. If you didn't like ending, you lost out. But then the second, then Tosfos says. But on the other hand, the Gemara gave two different answers. So there isn't a clear psak. Which is the right answer in the Gemara? So therefore, misaktik.
Why did he go with such a clear psak?
It's one. It was a hemshech. I chopped it up into three different lines. I'm saying in the Tosfos it's one hemshech. He tells you. Ikra din, what's pshat ilay madlik adlik madlik that if you didn't light he's getting that he lost out. But ledina, but according to the second piece, the Gemara says.
No, the Gemara paskins it's over as man like that's for it. Like this for it's not over as man. So misafik.
Therefore, misafik you should light.
But the Tosfos seems like holds that.
No, that's the way he wrote it. The way it is, it sounds like what Tosfos wrote is like this for the Gemara is over as man. Like this for the.
Yeah, and therefore, according to this, if you should light without a bracha because it's a suffix. If a suffix bracha is hakab, you should still light. But then Tosfos goes on later, goes on even further. He says nowadays the things changed. It used to be we used to light on the street, but because there was sakana, the goyim didn't like when we lit candles. They had their yom tovim, the different reasons why it was dangerous to light the menorah outside on the street. Therefore, the minhag came that we light it inside our house. So once we light inside our house,
is it a minhag or is it a din? If it's a din, we don't change it because we now put it in the house.
The shaila is why don't we change back now? Right now that there's no sakana, why don't we start doing it outside on the street? But that's a different discussion.
Why do we?
Oh, so Tosfos.
No, there is
inside Mesukana. Now light it at the same time. What gave you a right?
Let me finish saying over the verse when Tosfos. He says nowadays, when do you have the shir of half hour after shkia? That was only back then, and when they lit on the streets. So therefore, the streets were empty. But nowadays, we light inside our house. So there's always people around the house. So even after shkia, even if it's past half hour, you could still light and you could still make a bracha according to everyone. Look at the lashon inside. We don't have to worry about when you're going to light. Because for us, the whole heker is only for our family. Shari, yeah, I think it's a type of Shari. Because we light inside our house, and therefore it shouldn't make a difference. You don't have to knock it exactly point when you light the menorah.
I believe that's one the Rebbe reason says we're not lighting by the windows anymore. Not to light by the windows.
Because the streets are empty.
Because the streets are empty. We light by the door.
By dafka not. What's the dafka not?
Yeah, I'm just telling you what the Rebbe said. The Rebbe says, because people don't go. People don't go anymore.
So according,
the streets are empty.
So according,
Which streets? Where do you live?
according, some Achronim want to say that nowadays, some
Montgomery's not supposed to play. That's the first question.
Which part?
Chachamim made it later, but you're doing it inside. But this halacha, this man Chachamim gave, how does that change?
This man that Chachamim gave.
Why did that change?
With a reason.
Does the Rebbe have a word?
No.
Saying this man,
They gave a reason why.
saying this man Chachamim gave us because in order that people should see it. If you're doing it inside your house, then there is no.
Give this man with a reason. So when the reason doesn't apply, this man changes. Is really the Kodesh Chanukah is the light?
It's like all mitzvahs, call a Laila. Call mitzvah.
The Shai is also when
So if
you take away the
Shai is also when
but
the Shai is when Tosfos says in lochosh, you don't have to be worried about the time. Does that mean lechatchila you don't have to be or it just means b'di eved you don't have to be lochosh?
Absolutely not. You have to wake up somebody. Look in Shulchan Aruch.
They all heard it already. Why do you have to wake them up? They all heard it. You have to go outside and find the neighbors.
Also, some Achronim want to say that nowadays could be the Zman of Asheticha Regel in Ashuk changes. Because nowadays we have street lights, and now there are people always wandering around, people working until 7, they start walking home at 8, and their lights. Some people on a taina, so some people say you still leave it the way it is, you go out to Shkia, that's the Zman Chachamim gave. And some say that nowadays the Zman Sheticha Regel in Ashuk changes. Is even later. That's how some people nowadays want to say. So some people want... But either way, since we light inside in our house, if those people awake, so everything's okay. However, could you look at chila? Is there still in you now that we light indoors? Is there still in you to dafka light right before shkia, or could you wait whenever you want since we're lighting it indoors? So the Ran and also the Ashba says, I know you still need a dafka. You should still dafka right away, even though you're indoors. Look in the fourth Maramah.
That'll be like
Because zrizim are makdil mitzvahs, we want to do it right away. Therefore, when you have a chance, you should do it right away. You shouldn't push it off. So that's what the Ran says. So the Pele says, that's not what we do. We try to light right away. If he has to go on a swing, he has to do other things, so you light later. It's nishkeferlach. The shaila is how late could you go? Like he 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Even then you can still light Menorah. Until when do we say it's okay? So the Magen Avraham brings down some placing that they want to say no, it's not mamish kol halayla. There is a gvul. There's a limit. Look in the fifth Maramah, and he says either chatzos or till people fall asleep. In the fifth Maramah, the Magen Avraham says the basis of kasa to have a sveika the dino. That if someone is past a half hour after shkis has suffik the dino, being kain mashna shein levarich, that you shouldn't make a bracha. Aval midasasim Shulchan Aruch. Since in Shulchan Aruch he writes that you could light, it's mashma daite sheyavar. It's mashma that Shulchan Aruch holds that you shouldn't make a bracha, like we said before, because we light indoors and therefore it's not a problem. Then he brings down Babrashal. Shlomo Luria writes, Kasav the dafka ad chatzos. That even though we say that now that we light indoors, you can light as long as you can light whenever you want. He says it's until ad chatzos.
So you're going to say it's not a mitzvah sebalayla. We learned kol mitzvah sebalayla, kosher kol layla. So you're going to say that Chanukah is not a mitzvah sebalayla because it's before a layla. It's mishka.
So the shai is what they mean. He's right. Ve'im kein achatzeis in levarach. According to Rashal, you can't make a bracha after chatzos.
No, but I'm saying we learned before kol mitzvah sebalayla, kosher kol layla. According to that, you would have to make a bracha. So what I'm going to try to say is that it's not a mitzvah sebalayla Chanukah.
It's not a mitzvah sebalayla. I guess because anyways we're not going with the Rashba, right? We're going with the Rambam. Just since we light indoors, it's different. So the Maril wants to say that after Chatzos.
It's all about the Sumanisa because everybody's asleep at all.
Oh, that's what the Magen Ram continues. So the Hashal says till Chatzos. But the Gois Maimonius writes, "Kasav Kol Zman Shebnei Habayis Neurim." He says you can light as long as people are awake in the house. Afilu Adam and Shachar, until right before the sun comes up, the sun or Amad Shachar before it starts getting light, you could still light. Akan the Sheni. And he says,
not up?
And he ends up, but if everyone in the house is asleep and you're the only one awake.
To myself.
Persumenisa, what is the persumenisa?
To myself.
That's not persumenisa.
Say
the word persumenisa, say it.
And if a single is in the light.
So says the Magen Avram, if everyone is asleep in the house, you cannot light Menorah. So the Chamed Moshe asks your Shaila, Chamed Moshe.
Who's Chamed Moshe?
He's a Chashav Pesach. He's quoted by Mishnah Berurah. He has Sefer and Shulchan Aruch. And he asked the question. He says, "What if someone's living by himself?" According to the Magen Avraham, if someone's living by himself, he's the only person in the house, and he can't light. I'm saying, well,
or he came home and everybody.
What does that mean?
Let him get married.
We already said that, so now he's asking, what about the person who lives this every single day?
Right, so he says, according to the Magen Avraham, some person's not going to light Menorah. So he says, I heard of such a thing. It can't be, and he wants to say that even if everyone is asleep in the house, you could still make a bracha because
for yourself also.
It's
the average.
He wants to still make a bracha.
Chooses to say this. Wake up somebody.
The Mishnah Berurah said the Mishnah Berurah says la halacha in the Sharatzi, and he says that someone should not be mekel, that maker then he shouldn't make a bracha. We go with the Magen Avram. So if someone wants to go like the Chamed Moshe, you don't have to tell them off. You don't have to. If someone wants to go to the Chamed Moshe, you don't have to yell at him. But Ikar Adin,
make sure somebody's there that didn't.
The Ikar Adin, the Mishnah Berurah says you shouldn't make a bracha. If everyone's asleep in the house, you should make a bracha.
You should be trying to make sure there's somebody there.
Yeah, you should wake someone up.
Make a bracha. If not, it's a son.
If everyone's asleep, wake them up. Go make a bracha.
What if they already saw? Then it's still Pessuminis.
You trip over something.
They already went by the
as long as there are people around, I think so. Yeah, it should be Pessuminis. So if you bring it out.
Why can't we say something else? When you light it, the mitzvah has two parts of it.
It's still
one that you have to light it.
When a tree falls in the forest,
I'm going to try to help you out, David.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to help you out, David.
You light in your house, Menorah, Pessuminis, whether there's anyone there or not.
Let me see if I can help you out.
Then for sure.
Why can't we say like this? There's this man to light the candles this month. It also has another inyan to it, which is called Pessuminissa. Therefore, it's something that's added to this mitzvah, and therefore it has certain effects on this mitzvah. Not the whole mitzvah.
But it's not about the mitzvah. You can't do the second part.
Right. Why can't we say that?
That's what
that sounds like that's how the Rashba holds, right? The Rashba holds, according to the Rambam, if you pass the half hour, you lost out on the whole mitzvah. It's mashma that the mitzvah is Pessuminissa. That is the mitzvah. If there's no one there, then you can't do it. That's what it's mashma from the Rambam. Yeah.
Okay, so no. So what you're saying is the Rambam holds that the mitzvah is Pessuminissa. Masha Enkein from the Rashba. It's not from the.
It's mashma that it's an extra prat. That's what it's mashma. That's what it seems like.
But extra prat, you're taking away a bracha.
So that's
no.
So this is all.
Because it's a machlokes. So you add another aspect into it, Allah is like a piece of gum.
That aspect is naked. If you're going to take away the bracha, that means that.
So ad kanas until when do you have to light the menorah? The next slide is how long does the menorah need to burn for? So we had the second tudus in the Gemara. The Gemara says inami l'shiura. That what's the shear? How long do you burn the menorah for? Which that is a half hour. The different I'm right say that the shear is a half hour. So therefore you have to put enough oil for it to last a half hour. So, but first of all, which one do we paskin like? Right, we have the same shaila. Which tiers in the Gemara do we paskin like? So, pashas we go like both of them l'chumra. Either both of them are on the halacha, or we take both of them l'chumra. But some paskim want to question in.
So, if the whole the length of time is also but the shear of the oil is also but because of the.
So some paskim want to say the minhagim arash. There's a arash ostaich. They want to say that nowadays. Just like we say that the half hour you can light past the half hour because we light inside the house. Some people want to say that since we light inside our house, the whole concept of a half hour is gone. So therefore, you don't need to put dafka half hour.
You have to put a whole night's worth.
A whole night.
Now you should have to light a whole night.
But didn't
The same svara that it was for
they want to say that even if you put less, even if you put less than a half hour's worth, you can still be so you can
then
still
what's their
it's still
2
fine.
minutes, 1 minute. What's their
Maybe who says that that's not a share? You lit the Menorah, you did it.
However, such a concept.
Only when there's enough in the shear.
enough in shear, right?
However, some of the Chashav Rabbeinu Peretz and Dachi Moshe brings them down. The Rama brings them down. That even nowadays that we light indoors, we constantly still need to have the shear, even though we're makel lagabe lighting. Even though we're makel lagabe lighting after shkia, but if you're lagabe the shear, we're not makel. You need to have that half hour. So that. Did I bring the lashon? Oh yeah. Yeah, in the sixth Maramuk I brought the lashon. So the Shiltei Gerim brings down the divrei al-teisos v'asmak l'didan shan madlikim b'fnim. According to us, we light indoors. Ein tzarech l'daktek l'asei shemen b'ner kadesh yidlik shir kadesh ticha raglei d'harmidoim min hashuk. According to us, you don't have to wait the shir a half hour until people are out of the market, because we light indoors. However, Rabbeinu is the Rif. He's a Shiltei Gerim is a Pirush on the Rif. My minus the Rambam Kasu shetzarech l'daktek l'asei shemen l'seich kashir zeh. They write they need to be medaktik. This was Masha from the tour that you still need to. They need to put in the shear, and that's Tatak Nalacha. You still need to have the shear a half hour.
Question: Does anybody? I wasn't here in the beginning, but does anybody teach the Gemara now in the shear being the amount, the volume?
The Rif teaches like that.
Just the volume, nothing to do with time. Which time do you?
And that's the first one. The first answer the Gemara Dilei Adlik Madlik. That's the time they have to do within that half hour.
To relight it again.
Not to relight. The Gemara shayla that. The Gemara thinks. The Gemara says, "What's the half hour for? Isn't it? It doesn't mean that you have to relight it within that half hour." The Gemara says, "No." Dilei Madlik Madlik. If you still didn't light, you can still light now. But if it went out, you don't have to relight it.
One is the time, and one is like you're saying it's a shear. Like
And that's not.
And
that's Takat Halacha. If it goes out, you don't need to relight it. Then.
Because you did it with enough oil.
Putting enough oil, shiur, how much oil you should put in. Either amount of adlik, they have to keep it lit for half hour.
Not that you have to keep it. The Gemara shayla. In the end, the ilay adlik madlik. If you didn't light, but you don't have to relight it.
Nobody says you have to relight it.
Because you did it properly.
Yeah. Provided you did it for the shear.
Yeah. So the
still relight it.
And so the
there and it goes out.
And there's a letter. The Rebbe says that the Rebbe Rashab had a minute that they would make sure the candles lit for 50 to make sure they lit for 50 minutes, more than a half hour.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. Make sure they last for 15 minutes. So the question is, where does that come from? The you only need a half hour. So the Rebbe's Masvir. So the Shai is really the Gemara says Mishatishka Achama. What does that mean? So in Shulchan Aruch paskins that Seif Shkias Achama, which is Seisakei Chavim. Shulchan Aruch paskins that when the Gemara says Mishatishka Achama, it means Seisakei Chavim. Seisakei Chavim. That's when you light the Menorah.
Everyone holds as what?
According to the way they paskin, and that's Seisakei Chavim. However, the Peil, the Alta, and it's a big machlekes. So you have Shkia the Rabbeinu Tam and the Shkia the Go'im. Right, also on Shabbos, when is they have the same machlekes when the Shabbos come in. So in Shulchan Aruch, the Alta passes like Rabbeinu Tam, which is the Shir is much later. It's around Seisakei Chavim. But but in the Siddur, Alta but changes in the Gra also we pass like the Go'im, and we go late our Shkia Sachama. So late this. Look, I have lost in the Shulchan Aruch in the Maramuk number 7. The Shulchan Aruch says, "Eim adlik in Chanukah koydem shetishka chama elim seif shkia also." Im seif shkia, the end of shkia, which the Mishnah explains is seisakei chavim. V'leim achrin v'leim akdim. You can't do it earlier than that. But we don't pass like that. We change. We sit out there, but changes and we go like the Ga'in that we go from shkia. So where does the 50 minutes come in? So the 50 minutes come in is we want to be Yetzel L'chol Adayos. Because if we only light the first half hour, then it turns out the Menorah, the candles end before the Shkia of Rabbeinu Tam. And then according to Rabbeinu Tam, we weren't Yetzel the mitzvah of Hadlakas Chanukah. Since we want to be Yetzel L'chol Adayos, therefore we add an extra, we put an extra oil, and we want it to last a little bit longer.
How much longer is how many minutes longer?
How much longer is it?
We're adding, 20 minutes? 20?
Oh, so
we're only adding 20 minutes.
So that's why I didn't get, because Seis is 45 minutes after our Shkia. So I'm not sure if
we're not making up for if we lit at the beginning of Shkia in the middle.
So the way it's supposed to work is that we light for 20. It seems like the Shkia of the Tzeis is supposed to be 20 minutes after we light, and then it goes a half hour after that into the Shkia of Binu Tam. But I don't really get the cheshbon. I don't know the cheshbon how it works, because looking in the Lashon, there's two letters from the Rebbe over here. When do we light? The Itmar Mokim. Someone asked Rebbe, when should we light Menorah? So he says, L'shalosay oidei zman hadlakas ner Chanukah. Min hagenu, our minhag is min hagenu hu lahadlik bei mincha l'mayrev. Hachshavim lahidlik zman lig achar zeh. Bei mincha l'mayrev, but meaning before Mayrev, before it says after by Shkia. And then the ninth Mara Mokim, that's where they ask about the minhag, how much oil to put in. So the Rebbe writes over there, "But my name Michtavi by Meir al Minok V'Kedush Admar Marshad Neshmasei Eden." His light Ubetach Nagu Gam Bevisarav Dorach Hadar, and Vanda was a Minok for many generations. Let's say Shemin Bener Chanukah Shitlak LePachis 50 Minutim V'Shel HaSvara V'Zeh. They would do that for 15 minutes. And what's the svara for that? So the Rebbe says, "Behine Befeder Shlisha Mighty Time." I didn't hear Befeder what's the reason for it. But there Efsher Yishleimar, there Efsher you could say Asher Kivan Sheyeshan and Deis Chalukis Bizman Hadlaka. She right after Ma'av or before. After it says.
To start, or it should go till after Ma'av?
To start.
That they start lighting after Ma'av?
Yeah, the shayla is once says comes, what do you do first? You have Ma'av first, or you like Menorah first? But it has to be after it says Hakechavim, according to the Shita. Therefore, Mahadin to do like both opinions. Hainu, Mahadin Achar Tfilas Mincha, but even in a way, Shia Shemen Beneres Kedei Kol Hashir Achar Ma'av. Know that it shall last until after Ma'av.
So those 20 minutes or so are taking you through that.
Yeah.
Ma'av.
Will take you. Yeah, that extra time is going to take you through that shall last afterwards. Ein hazman gram la'im barichas bezeh. There's not enough time to go into it. Barichas. Rei prima gadon sivin some tafishayin beis and Mishnah Brura. They also write here that you should that if you light early, you should make it go later. The holidays. And Sefer Chnas Shad Al Rebbe. Al Rebbe says that we pass like the Go'inim. And so that's the discussion.
So by 7, you're saying we have Shkia today. That's Haschalas Shkia. What did you say before? You said
if we're doing it between Mincha and Ma'av, when